Hey, we're here with Safari Condo. You know what? This is kind of like a dream of mine, and if you don't know who they are, just hang on. We're going to tell you, and it's super cool. You just got to trust me on that, okay? And, I mean, you have a French accent, so French Canadian. There is nothing greater than a Texas twang and a French style.
A little French je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi.
There you go.
I can't even say that very well, okay? All right.
You can,
so,
but you got
yes.
it with the Texan accent.
Yeah, with a Texas accent, right?
Yeah,
It's
feels
the best
good.
I can do.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about some super cool RVs built in a way that you maybe didn't know about. I mean, I am so impressed. Thrilled to meet you guys yesterday. And hey, everybody, welcome to RV Small Talk, where we talk about, well, pretty much whatever we feel like. And some of it relates to RVs, right? So, RV Small Talk is brought to you by Princess Craft RV, and I am PJ from Princess Craft, and I am, I guess, for all intents and purposes, your host today. So, we are here with Dominique, and I won't say it well, so say your name for us.
François.
François. I love that. I love it. Okay, Dominique and François are here from Safari Condo. So tell me what you do there, and let's just start there.
So we're a French-Canadian company made out of Quebec City. We've been building vans for 27 years. And
Whoa, I
trailers.
didn't know that. Vans for 27 years?
Yes. Dominique's father created the company 27 years ago.
Okay.
With vans. So we were building Class Bs out of Quebec.
Okay.
And then 10 years later, he wanted to create a well-built trailer out of aluminum, and he then created the Alto, which Alto stands for aluminum towing.
Aluminum towing. I didn't know that either.
That's why I brought it up.
Alto. Yeah. Yeah, that's why you're here, right?
Also, agreed.
Tell me all the things I don't know, but we don't have time for that. So, aluminum towing is Alto.
Yeah.
But Alto's a great name.
We
Great
like
name.
it too. Yeah. We do like it.
Yeah. So, Dominique, your dad started this company.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a bit of an inventor. So when I was young, he built his airplane in our basement at the house.
Whoa. Built an airplane in a basement. I bet it was tough to fly out of there.
He built it in parts, so the wings and then the fuselage, and it came out in parts. But yeah, so he was always an inventor and very hands-on, and so. He loved camping. I started camping when I was 1 year old with my parents. And so I kind of grew up in those old Volkswagen Westphalias.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's
Hey, my first camping trip was in a Volkswagen.
There you go.
But it wasn't a Westphalia. That is way too cool. We were in the 1969 camper van.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still cool too.
No cool stuff on the top, just a camper van with 6 people stuffed in it.
Oh my God!
So,
no.
yeah.
I'm an only child, so at least in the small Westphalia,
man.
it felt kind of roomy anyway.
I imagine that is awesome. I have no idea what that would be like. So
and so that's how it came about. Eventually, he wanted to make a North American version of the Westphalia. Which was based on a German van, and he wanted something that was a bit more, I guess cheaper to fix and maintain. Eventually, those Westphalias were getting older, the parts were hard to come by, and that's how Safari Condo started. He decided to make his own version on a GMC Safari, which is the Safari part in the Safari Condo.
So Safari Condo is just meaning building a condo that you can take on safari.
Yeah.
Hence the snail,
Why
because
have
you carry your own house.
Yeah, the snail is kind of...
The snail is your logo.
Yep, and it has his house with him wherever he goes.
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm a little embarrassed because all this time I've been thinking, why do they have such a long, drawn-out name, Safari Condo, that doesn't really, it doesn't have a ring like most manufacturers' names? Because it's kind of like, okay, I think about it as like naming drugs these days. The drug companies, they come up with something that rolls off your tongue, that's very kitschy, that sounds like, it's good for you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
and you remember it all the
what?
time.
And you remember it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do it so it's memorable. Safari Condo, I always have to think.
Right.
But I don't ever have to think about Alto. I have been watching that for years. Never knew where it came from. So, all right. I'm glad to hear you didn't grow up in an airplane.
No.
Because that was a concern, or in a basement.
No.
So, yeah, cool. So, when did the Alto start? When was it built?
My dad spent about 3 years. That was our single biggest investment in R&D at the time. And so he started 3 years, so about 2005, where the idea came that he wanted to do a truly ultralight trailer. He thought at the time that a lot of companies put the word light on a 4,000-pound trailer, and he was like, "That's not light," and
Right,
so he wanted to
right.
make a real ultralight trailer, and also he really wanted to improve the aerodynamics. At the time, again in 2005, he didn't think a lot of people were spending a lot of time engineering for aerodynamics.
No, they were just building a box.
Pretty much, yes. And there were a few exceptions, but generally speaking, they were building a box, and he wanted to do better. And he liked the idea of a teardrop trailer, obviously for the aerodynamics. But my dad is a tall gentleman, and he's 6'1", and whenever he would visit existing teardrops, he would always think, this is too small, I can't live in this, I feel a bit cramped.
Right.
And so he decided to do a teardrop with a retractable roof that opens up, and that's the first Alto that he designed. So
Yeah, I will tell you guys, if you are watching us on YouTube and you can see a picture of this, I am certain that will be in there. However, if you're not, look it up. It is crazy, this Alto. We'll obviously put it in the notes down below, but wow. I mean, I
you.
imagine that one of the things online is that the Alto just turns heads. We have customers come in our store and they say, "You know that trailer? Have you seen that one? It is so cool. Do you sell that? It has this giant curve and it just comes up and it's all glass and that's the description of it. It
That's
is
true.
a giant teardrop that just raises up and then it's all glass." Wow.
Like Dominique and I like to say, it's our bottle of Coke. Everyone
What?
knows it's our bottle of Coke. Everyone knows the shape of a bottle of Coke. You know the shape of the bottle when you see the Alto retractable. Everyone knows what it is. They know.
They know
They
exactly.
know that shape.
Exactly.
They know that shape.
They know that
yeah.
shape, and they remember us just because of the shape
Yes.
of the teardrop they've seen on the rope or the gas station. They remember that.
Well, I can tell you that, I've seen a lot of trailers. I mean, thousands of companies have come and gone since 2005. Many of them are still here building all kinds of unique things. I have never, ever, ever, ever seen anything like the Alto.
We're different.
Wow.
For sure, we're different. Not only
you.
with the
Thank
accent, with
you.
the product.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you guys know I've been gushing over it for 2 days. So, yeah, I am pretty much.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I am what they call a groupie. All right, I have always loved it. Enough of that. Enough about me. Or is there ever enough about me?
No,
Right?
We don't
I
know.
don't know.
Of course not.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so tell me why it's so special. How much does it weigh?
So most of our trailer will weigh in between 1,900 pounds all the way to 2,900 pounds. So the biggest trailer we're sitting right now, dry weight is 2,935 pounds for a 24-footer with dual axle, which is mainly unheard of in our industry.
A dual. Okay, wait. Just in case you don't understand the French accent or you missed any piece of that, this is 24 feet.
Yes.
And it's got a dinette in the front. It's got a beautiful toilet compartment and a separate shower. And it's got a nice twin bed or king bed in the back, a spacious kitchen with a huge open countertop, windows all around. And you're telling me this weighs under 3,000 pounds.
Yes, ma'am. So yeah, 2,935 dry weight. And
What's
with
the
option-
trick? How do you do that?
Well, basically, what we have developed, or what Dominique's dad has developed, is a sandwich panel, which in between we're going to put an honeycomb nest, and then we're going to glue it and vacuum it to create our walls, our floor, and our roof.
So that doesn't sound very strong.
It does not at first, but when you see how sturdy they are and how lightweight they are, it goes together. Lightweight can also be sturdy depending on what you're going to add on in between the two sheets of aluminum.
Ah,
And I mean that's the engineering behind any kind of sandwich panel. There's a way to make that very strong. We have a different kind of sandwich panel, even for the panel at the bottom of the cushions to give them rigidity. And again, we don't use plywood. We use another type of sandwich panel. And the idea is always that you have two skins with an interior that is not compressible, and that allows you to have something that has less deflection than a plywood, that is very strong and still very, very light. And so, for example, our floors in the Alto is only it's about an inch thick. However, it has so little deflection and is so strong with that honeycomb inside, that we actually have no cross beams anywhere on the frame. So it's just a simple A-frame, keeps it light, keeps it lower than most trailers, and also keeps it more aerodynamic because not having those supports under the floor, it reduces drag as well. So it is very strong.
I have to say I've talked to a lot of manufacturers over the years. I've never had anybody talk about the structural supports under the floor reducing drag.
Oh, yes.
Never. But you guys take it down to the tiniest piece that can restrict airflow.
I think it's probably Dominique's father building planes that always had that in mind.
Yeah, because the bottom part of a plane is pretty important.
Yeah, and pretty lightweight, pretty flat. No screws or no rivet or standing out. Everything is flowing through up there or underneath for sure.
Right. Wow, I didn't think of that.
And I mean, from the very first trailer, my father designed the water tanks, the holding tanks, in a streamlined design again, and they I guess go on either side of the axle, which is a bit of the lowest point under the trailer, and then kind of taper back towards the floor again to try to make a smooth underneath with the tanks and the axle to reduce drag.
While we're talking about reduced drag, I mean, does it really make that much difference on gas mileage?
Actually, it's the most and by far the most significant aspect of reducing fuel consumption or improving range on electric cars. We have two models that we've developed in virtual wind tunnel tests, and weight does not make any kind of difference typically.
Really?
So the weight will only change, or you will only have a difference in weight when you are going from the stop to your driving speed. So of course, when you're trying to accelerate from a stop, so at a light or something, then the weight will of course be a factor. But as soon as you hit highway speed or that you're kind of driving down the road with your vehicle, then it's really the drag of the trailer that influences 99% of the fuel consumption. And so it's a huge impact. And just by, on our own product, just by improving the aerodynamics, we've managed to reduce fuel consumption by 20% between our own product, depending on the models. And that's just working on the aerodynamics of it.
Well, that's very impressive at 20%. But, you know, if you're getting 40 miles to the gallon, or if you're getting 15 miles to the gallon, 20% is a whole different number. So what actual numbers can you, when somebody says, yeah, I have a RAV4 and I want to tow one of your lightweight trailers, what kind of mileage can I expect? Do you actually have real numbers?
I mean, it's tough to say because it depends on especially how people drive, and then there's a whole lot of factors like wind, even the air temperature does change that a lot. So it's hard to give a number and then have people say, well, I didn't reach that number. Considering just a whole different list of factors. I mean, we have a lot.
Come on, Dominique, cough it up.
Give
Give me something. Give me something.
All right, I'll give some numbers.
Yeah,
I can do
21
Okay.
miles per gallon.
What?
Yeah, so
20 miles per gallon?
Yeah.
With driving with what?
That would have been one of our 17s in the aerodynamic series. So yeah.
So if I'm traveling with a vehicle that gets, say, 30 miles per gallon, I might get 20 miles per gallon with a trailer.
Yeah.
Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I mean, we have customers coming back with that kind of feedback. So these are real world, tests, and not just like done in a lab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is often what we get when you buy a car and you can never do the fuel
Whatever
efficiency
they say,
that
it
they
never
tell
is
you.
right.
It's never real.
You just don't want to be that guy, right?
So we have more of actual, real world driving tests. We don't have usually the money to pay those fancy labs to do tests for us anyway. So
We
actually
want
drive
real
it.
world experience.
Yeah, we actually
Yeah.
drive it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is a real concern. So many times we have people say, yeah, I want one with an angled front because we'll get so much better gas mileage. And they don't really take into consideration anything else. So weight may have something to do with it when you're taking off. Weight really has to do with what you can tow with. So everybody wants a good gas mileage car. And, well, not everybody. Some people just want a big, cool truck, which is awesome. So
But lots
I
of
love
space to
myself a
bring,
big,
yeah.
cool truck. I'm in Texas, right? Okay. But if you want an economical car, you have something as a daily driver, then very often it eliminates so many trailers
Right off the
that
bat.
are larger
Yeah.
Yes.
and
True.
more spacious.
Or if you have an electric vehicle and you want to go the extra mile. So
Yeah.
those 15, 20, or 25% will play so you can get to the next supercharger instead of having those small charger in
Yeah.
between. You'll get to that big other one and then you can count on the campground to be used as a charger as well.
Right? Do you have a lot of electric vehicles buying your campers, do you think?
We're starting. Now, I wouldn't say a lot, but we have a few per year. I would say that we sell probably in between 15 to 20 of the A series per year. That would be
Of the what?
The A
the
series.
A series, the aerodynamic
okay.
series, the two trailer we were referring.
Okay.
And so 15 to 20 is what we're looking at the moment. But we want to also show the world that it can be done.
Right.
But you have to make a little sacrifice in the front and just so that you can create that pointy shape that we've talked about
Yeah.
a little bit before.
So, yeah, it's really wonderful. What he's talking about is the A series that stands for the A-frame, aerodynamic, whatever it stands for. You
Aerodynamic.
guys love
Aerodynamic.
things that stand for things.
Yes.
So,
The snail,
but
the
it's,
accent.
yeah, that's exactly right. So this is a V-nose in the front in these series. And, man, they're super cool. There's been a lot of attempts at V-noses in the past. So a real struggle. We're starting to see a lot of Rivians come through our dealership, and people are really happy with that. I want to interview one of those guys one time just to get their feedback because they're not buying tiny trailers, but so much opportunity. All right, so lightweight. What makes you different? Because this feels different, and I have to say it feels like modern retro on the inside of this camper.
I would
Is
add
that what
also
you're going for?
European as well.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know what that means anymore. A lot of people use that term. To me, European, a lot of times they go for the sleek, kind of high-end Euro look. Because, here in America, we think everybody in Europe is much more refined than we are. I know that's not the case, but
Yeah. I guess when we think European, we think a little more, I guess, kind of in the simplicity and elegance, meaning something that will be classic, that will age well, that doesn't have too much flash, but that's just, along classic lines. And, like a Chanel dress, which, is all black. It's very simple.
Yes.
It's never dated. It never ages. And that's, I think, what we want to bring as an aesthetic in our trailers. And to have something that will, 20 years later still look good, and you won't say, oh yeah, that was bought in the 2000s and it shows. Like those green fridges they had in the 70s.
Yeah.
avocado green, right?
Exactly. that didn't age so well.
No. We had an avocado green car.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. And it wasn't a little car. It
It's a
was
big one.
it was a Mercury Marquis, which is 1 inch longer than the largest Cadillac ever made.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
big. That's very
That
big,
is
yeah.
huge.
Yeah, you think they were going for a record there.
Yeah,
and ours
probably.
was avocado green. Oh my gosh, I will never forget that. Yeah, the era gone by. Thank goodness. So yeah, I get that. You know, this is a kind of classic, kind of like an Airstream classic.
Thank you. That's a very nice
Only
compliment.
yes,
Thank
but
you.
it doesn't feel like an Airstream. So yeah, it feels just. I tell you what, you guys got on the lots of window craze, just like Airstream did, and that is what I notice in these. It's clean lines. It's basic. It is. It is not overly fancy, but man, the windows open in this place. There is windows all the
All
way
around.
around.
Anywhere you sit,
Anywhere you
you
sit,
have a view
you
outside.
have a view
While
everywhere.
you go camping, to feel outside or to enjoy the outdoors. And
Okay.
as soon as you'll sit here or in the front of the trailer, in any of our trailer, you'll always have that feeling. Even when
Yes.
you lay in bed, you have that view outside no matter what.
Well, you have two spaces
Yeah.
that don't have the large windows, and that is the bathroom and the shower. So
The bathroom has it.
the bathroom has it?
Yes, only not the shower.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Let's stay
there
private
is
a
a
bit.
window.
we need to talk about a picture window in the shower. Come on. You
It's
know,
not for everyone, though.
live on the edge.
We could
Live
talk
on
about
the
that.
edge.
We could
We
talk
can
about
talk about
that,
it.
but
We might
for
not do
everyone.
it, but we could talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but gosh, how innovative, how clean, very classic. And I have to say, I absolutely love you comparing it to the little black dress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you are the inventor's daughter,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, tell me about what that's like. How did you get where you are, and where are you?
Well, now my father's retired, so I'm president of the company.
Yeah, well, easy. He just handed it to you, right?
Very
Right?
simple.
Yeah.
Very
I'm
simple
sure
trade.
you. I'm sure
Very
you. Yeah, yeah.
Big
Here,
gift
just
at Christmas. Christmas gift. Here you go.
here you go. I'm done.
No, I think when I started working at the company, I actually studied English lit. I don't think I thought I was or I had the stuff to be a businesswoman.
Okay.
And in all honesty, I was 19 years old when I went to university, and so I thought I'll be a teacher or something. And so I studied English literature, and then at the time we were expanding in English-speaking Canada, and our only English-speaking sales representative was retiring, and my father said we need somebody who speaks good English to help us continue the expansion, and he says I have a job for you if you want it. And my mother had always told my dad not to pressure me into joining the family business. That was very
Right,
important
right,
to
right,
her.
right.
And so
I like
I
your
was-
mom.
and I thought in a small business, I was afraid being a teacher, I would find it repetitive, kind of, teaching the same books
Every
for 30
day.
years,
Oh,
because
gosh.
these are the same classics.
I have the highest respect for teachers
course,
because
of course.
I
Yeah,
could
agreed.
not do that.
I
It would be
know.
a total snooze fest.
But that's anyway. Again, at 20 years old, that was my perception. I was thinking of being a teacher, but at the same time hesitant. And I thought a small business sounded like an adventure, just
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
there's so many different things to do. It's financing and it's marketing and it's production, because of course we have the factories. And so I just thought, well, if I have a chance to kind of look at all these different parts and these moving parts in a business, I think that might keep my interest for a long, long time. And so I said yes to the job. I started in sales. And then after 3 years, I told my dad, I really thought I don't know. I think I have a mind for production and I understand technical things pretty well, despite my English lit background. So I told him I was interested in going and learning at the factory. And he said yes, but then when I moved to the factory, he said, you have 3 strikes against you. He says, you're young, you're a woman, and you're the daughter of the owner. And he said, all these things will make people question your credibility. And so he says, you need to earn respect and show that you can learn the job, not that you somehow know it because you're my daughter. And
Right,
so
right.
that was
Good words, good advice.
Yes. And so I think my dad was, he was very wise. So he gave me good advice. And I think I spent time in the factory. I was just kind of asking our employees, who were all older than me, or most of them were, how do you do this? And how does that work? And I think respect came with time. And even, eventually our general manager decided to start his own business in a completely different sector. And my dad offered me the job, and I said, I'm not ready. And there's nothing worse than the daughter of the owner taking a job she's not ready for and not competent for. And I told him, I'm going to get myself an MBA. And I said, we'll talk when I'm done. And so I refused to be general manager initially. I went and got myself an MBA. And then a few years later, I said, I think I'm ready now. And then I took the job. So, yeah.
Good. Wow, what a great story.
Thank you.
Yeah, how many people say, yeah, don't give me
the promotion, I'm not
the
ready.
promotion. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I need to learn more, and here's what I'm going to do. So there is something in you that was really built for planning and managing, because
so,
that is
yes.
impressive.
Yeah.
I have watched this company for a couple of days, and everybody, including François here, who can hold his own, I just want to say,
Thank you.
looks to you for guidance.
Oh, thank
and
you.
You run this team, and I am
Thank you.
so impressed. So impressed. Not because you're a woman, because, I think, yeah, I mean, we're only talking body parts here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
True.
So, but the other thing is, you do have strikes against you. It is very tough being the daughter of the owner. I think that is much tougher than someone like me who had to kind of, start out and learn as I went in what is basically a man's industry. I mean, we're changing that, but being the daughter of the owner, there are so many assumptions, and you blew right past them. So, yeah, and I love the product. I mean, and so many people will take a company that their parents built, and they will just write it. And you have done so much more than that, because you developed all these new products.
The complete opposite. She also gave most of us partners a chance to grow and to become her partner, because
Yes.
we've all became partners. We've all very different backgrounds, but she decided to not only take a chance, but decided, yeah, those are the one I want to be with for a long time. But it's not everyone that has the confidence that she had when she chose us to be part of the team, because it goes both ways, right?
Right.
You got to deserve to be sitting at the table, but you also have to have the fit, and she found that in us for sure. We have a great team of partners, and she did that because she saw something in ourselves that we maybe didn't see at first, though.
Yeah, we're at the open house, which is a big show. It's like an RV show for dealers, and I have watched your team, and you guys have so much fun. I just want to hang out here.
We have so much fun, and it's one of the nicest compliments we get a lot of the time when we do RV shows. This is for dealers, but we do a lot of RV shows open to the public, and people say that they feel it when they walk in our booth or in our stand, and they say, like, it feels different here, and people are friendly and smiling and open and kind of laughing and not taking themselves too seriously.
We definitely got that energy.
Yeah.
Even if we're only 5 here, we definitely got that energy that we were 10. That's the French
Well, you just got to
energy.
take up the space.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You gotta take up
Is
the
that a
space.
French thing?
Yeah, it's a Texan things too. Like,
Yeah.
They both are really
No,
alike.
we just act like we're better than everybody else. Bigger and better, right? Yeah,
Bigger
we
and
just,
better.
yeah. I'm not sure that's actually a compliment, but you take what you can get. I've never known anything else but Texas, so I probably don't have a very good perspective. I don't know anything else. I mean, that big personality that Texas has, it's all I've ever known. So when I drive around these quiet little country roads, I mean, Ohio, I love Ohio. It's like the sleepy little beautiful corner of the world. And then I go up to Maine, and those people are always like, yeah, Yeah, we're doing fine. Y'all just go away. We're fine. Yeah. And you just it's just interesting. Everybody kind of has their personality.
Absolutely.
So
and I mean,
True.
in Canada, of course, Quebec being the French speaker has its kind of little, and
The
I
odd player a little bit.
yes, exactly, exactly.
your laugh is so great. I mean,
Not
you
the
know
first
what
time I heard that.
Oh,
Thank
of
you.
course. You know what it reminds me of? I always, when my kids were little, whenever they got sick, I handed them an apple because usually they ate too much junk. So I handed them an apple, told them apples cure everything. And to this day, they believe that. All right. So don't give away my secret. And they would lay on the sofa and watch Little Mermaid. And your laugh reminds me of those days because they have a lobster that speaks French. And
Sebastian.
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 Yeah. It's so awesome.
I was wondering where you were going
That's
with
where
that.
I'm going with that. You remind me of Sebastian. I couldn't think of the name.
I
So
was gonna
Sebastian.
say, I feel that's cooler than the candlestick from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so
It's
much
also
cooler.
French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd,
much
I'd
cooler.
rather that for sure.
well, was
And
it?
thank you still.
Weren't they both French?
Yes,
Yes,
Did I
they
get
were.
it wrong?
Yes, they were.
I totally could get it wrong, but I think that's what you remind me of. So, if you were talking about this trailer, we could talk about the construction details. What do people need to know? Why Safari Condo? What makes the trailer cool? What makes you guys so special?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you can. I think it's the fact that it can last at least 25 to 30 years and it cannot rust or rot, which is something that we've all heard a little bit, but and people want to have something that will last. We've all had those fridge and washer dryer that lasted forever, having 10 kids and wash them every day and they were lasting, and now these days it's not the case.
Yeah,
things
that's
are
true.
not things are not lasting like they should. And so people, when they come in, they say, I want something that will last. We are a green company. Green doesn't mean only we recycle. It means that we don't want to sell 3, 4, 5 trailers to the same customer. We just want to sell the right one right off the bat, and so that they can enjoy it for the rest of their life if they want. So you can get the trailer at 30 years old and then still probably have it at 65, because we aim for 20 to 30 minimum. And I'm sure we'll see some of these 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, because I believe in what we've built will last that long for sure.
So you have the classic, the vintage, the little black dress that can stay in your garage or in your storage space for as long as you want to use it, and it'll still be good. So
It'll
how much
still look
wood is
good.
in here?
How much?
Uh-huh.
Depending on what you add on, because they're all built to order, which is something our customer.
What?
They're all built
What?
to orders. The trailer is built to order.
What?
You come to us and you do whatever you want with it. You choose everything you want, mostly.
There's basic layouts,
Yeah.
but there's a whole series of options that customers choose. There's choices of colors for the fabrics, the cabinets, and so on. So really, about 95% of our production is all built to order, and we even have. When customers buy, we even have a little online form where they can kind of send us a picture of themselves and introduce themselves to our production team, so that our production team knows for whom they're building the trailer.
You are kidding.
Yeah,
No,
so
it's
we
true.
have
Very
an
true.
online form, and customers who are waiting for their Alto to be built will fill it out, and they can send a message to our team. They can also say what's the first trip they plan on taking with their Alto.
What's the
and-
nickname
yeah.
they
Yes,
think about the trailer
if
if they
they're
have
thinking
one.
of giving a name to their Alto eventually down the line.
Oh,
and just
people
kinda-
name trailers,
Oh,
absolutely.
yes, absolutely. And so it's fun for our team to know who they're building for, and so we like to do
What
that.
amazing. And is there any communication between the order and the delivery with that customer?
I mean, from our sales team, not necessarily from the production side, and that's why we did that form, because our production employees don't have a lot of contact or a lot of chances to meet
Yes.
or to even talk to customers. So at least this is a virtual way, I guess, of getting to know who they're building the trailer for.
And do they even care?
Yeah, I mean, I think they really liked it, especially initially, obviously, because it was new. Eventually, it becomes I guess, standard and part of the daily routine. But at first, they really thought it's the first time I get to see the faces of the people that we're building it for.
It's not just a name; they see the actual person they're
Yes.
building the trailer for, which creates something very kind-hearted for them to build.
To know that they're building something
it's not only
for
for
humans.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
isn't just a job.
And
This
to reassure people, this is absolutely optional. So obviously, customers who don't want to fill this out, it's completely up.
They don't
It's
have to.
completely up
It
to
can
them.
be anonymous.
Yes.
If you don't want your ugly mug all over
yeah.
their production floor, you can
It's
you can
totally
take that
optional,
out.
but I think even customers like the idea
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
our employees knowing that this is going to be my unit.
I can imagine if they are buying something like this, designing it themselves, and locating you guys in Canada, they are invested.
Yes.
Yes.
They are very invested
Very
in
much so.
their trailer. Because, regardless of the construction details, this feels like such a solid build. You would want to have it for 20 or 30 years. Like an Airstream, you want something that is built to last. And it's a commitment.
It's funny.
It's a commitment to dedicate the funds and the energy
Of course.
to
Of
this.
course. And it's funny, I was speaking to a customer from Maine earlier this summer, and he said, my kids are already fighting for who's going to get the trailer. And he says, I'm not that old.
Not answering the question.
But,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and so I thought it was fun that, he...
Yeah,
In his
it's
mind-
never leaving.
Yes.
In his mind.
He's
Yeah, I
happy,
imagine
he's
the-
happy with it.
Yeah, the used market for an Alto or a trailer made by Safari Condo. I mean, does it exist?
It does exist, but to be honest, you got to be quick. Even in Quebec, where you'll have probably the most used trailer, of course,
Right,
because this
right.
is where we sell them the most. Even in Quebec, you got to be pretty quick. Usually, when you sell a used one, the first one that will call you, first person that will call to say, "Hey, I want it," will be the one that will buy it, and it's gone within a day. I've heard customer telling me 2 hours the trailer was on the market, and then they had to pull it out because they were flooded with phone calls that never stopped. So they had to pull the announce
ad,
out, the
yeah.
ad out. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think scarcity is a great model. Okay.
And it is a great model for our customers because scarcity also means that resale value is high. I mean, typically for a long time right now, we're about 12 months for delivery times. But for a long
12
time.
months.
Yeah.
So I order one
Yeah.
and I can't have it next year.
Yeah. So
You'll have
next
it
year
next
in
year.
2026,
In
somewhere
the fall,
like
2026.
yes, end of the summer or fall. And for a long time, that was 18 months. So it was a year and a half.
So you're making progress.
Yes, we're
Why don't you
improving.
We do.
just why don't you just hire more people and build more? Why don't you?
It's that easy, of course. It's that easy.
I mean, it's a whole. It's a whole bunch of different choices that we've made. But chief among them, quality is what we've built our reputation on. It's what also gives the resale value to our product, and so that's kind of the cornerstone of everything. And one of the things, for example, is when demand grew, we chose to invest. For us, it was a significant amount of money, but to build a brand new factory that was twice or maybe 3 times the size of the initial one to increase production, because we did not want an evening shift or a night shift, because it is a well-known fact that evening and night shifts typically it's hard to maintain quality. We also have one of our values is accountability, and then it becomes real easy to just say, oh, the problem is because of the night shift, or the problem is because of the other shift.
Right,
We only
right.
have day shift. Which is great for our employees. I think it gives. I think it gives a better work schedule. But not only that, there's only one shift. So if there's a quality issue, if there's a problem, we're accountable. We can't blame another team on another shift. It's, it's us. We end the day, and then the next morning when we start again, it's still our job on the production line. And if there's an issue, we have to look at ourselves and say, okay, where did we drop the ball? And so that investment for quality, we chose, yes, we did increase our production layout. We invested in a new plant. We invested in a warehouse facility to be able to provide all the parts that we needed as we grew. But we're not willing to grow at an unsustainable pace that will affect quality. And we're not willing to do night shift or evening shift for those reasons that I've mentioned. And so, yes, so it's a kind of a slower growth and maybe not the typical
snail growth.
Yeah.
The
Snail growth.
The snail growth.
Okay.
I was just thinking of that while you were talking. I was like, the snail growth makes sense.
Yeah.
It's true, but it's
So-
also something you got to learn. I'm a guy that goes quick on action, very, very quick.
Uh-huh.
I had to learn that from her to go smooth, go slow, because it's always a nicer decision if you take that time, and the quality of your decision is the quality of your product. It goes together as well.
And I mean, we've done the fast growth thing once. I mean, and that was a huge challenge, and it was a huge challenge to try to maintain quality, because we did go from 50 employees to 150 in about 18 months. So that was a significant challenge, and we did, and we've we went from probably 150 ish units a year to eventually 450. So that was a significant increase. But honestly, to my perspective, eventually the company has to look like you and make you happy. And I still want to manage a company where I know the names of the people that work for me. And at 150, I can still do that. And then there's a point where I don't necessarily want 400 people working and they're just numbers. And I walk in the factory and I'm not sure who's that. He's in you, or he's just been here for 2 years and I've never kind of came across that employee. And then that just becomes a question of personal values. But
You just don't want that.
Yes, exactly. So,
Well, I think everybody needs to do exactly what works for them. And you guys certainly have done that. It's pretty impressive. I have one more question before I let you go. I know the concerns of you are just now, I'm stealing your thunder here, you are just now setting up some outlets in the U.S., right?
yes.
And not many, I hear.
Yep.
But so if somebody buys something in the U.S., I mean, how much support can they get? You're only going to have a couple of outlets, and they're going to be, driving around the country, the U.S., Canada. We're both big countries, and you guys are all the way up there in Quebec. So
Although it
how
is
do you
might-
support your customers?
Although it might seem like we're far, which we are,
Yeah?
I've been working with companies in the industry that are known for every RV dealer. So let's say you have your AC problem with Truma, you know that there's some Truma authorized dealer that can work on it. If worst case scenario you have an electrical problem, you could even call an electrician that could go help you. Same thing for the plumbery. Depending on what the options are, first thing, they can always and should always reach out to us. Yes, we only have one outlet here for now. They can start by reaching out to us, and Frédéric and his team at service will definitely work their butt off just to find where they could get repair and who could do it. And if worst case scenario come to it, let's tow the trailer back to Quebec and figure it out ourselves if no one else can fix it here, which I would be very surprised things cannot be fixed.
Right.
And I mean, it's always been the case when we were just selling in Quebec and nowhere else in North America. Just because of the product we're building, you won't realize there's an issue on your travel trailer when it's in the yard at your house and you're not actually using it. So you will always figure out that it's either the AC is not working or something's not working or this and that while you're camping. And then, it might be in Florida, even though you live in Quebec, or it might be while you're, traveling across country to go see the Rockies or something. And so we've always, for 27 years, we've had to support our customers across North America. And even at the very beginning, we were only selling in Quebec and we were very local, but our customers were everywhere. And so we've become quite good at supporting our people on the road. And now we have American customers that are on the road, which is kind of the same. So we do, I think, have a good reputation, and that is part of why people buy in Quebec, and even in the US, we have customers that are on their third or fourth Alto. So they've bought several vehicles with us as we've developed new models or bigger units, and they went from a 17 to a 21 to get more space. And so yes, I think they choose us again. Yes, they like the product. I also think they trust the service and the support.
Oh, so good to know.
For sure.
So good to know. Well, you guys, it's been so fun. I could talk about this trailer, I think, all day, but they're telling me our time is up. No, not really. Nobody's telling me that, but I mean, I think
Cody is.
Well,
He's
he's
showing
ready
his
to go. I know. Well, I have had a great time. We get to talk more, but I will tell you, if you're listening to this and you want more information, just Google Safari Condo. There is not another Safari Condo out there, and yeah, it is super cool. Even if you're not buying a trailer, you should look at it, guys. This is incredible, and it's even more amazing in person because, yeah, I'm here, and it's incredible. Good job.
Thank you, and hopefully coming soon to Princess Craft.
Yeah.
You never know.
We never know.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
never know.
hopefully.
Yeah, so y'all stay tuned. And, if you're wondering, give me a call. I'll tell you what's happening. Because, we're still working out the details. We're having so much fun chatting. We haven't gotten to business yet. That is a whole other project.
Absolutely.
So,
A whole other day.
that's a whole nother day.
Yeah, exactly.
With maybe a little celebrating or drinking involved. I mean, maybe.
I wouldn't say no.
I mean, no. Yeah, you're Canadian. I know you guys. So, all right. Well, thanks so much. Thanks
you.
for listening to
Merci.
RV Small Talk. And, we'll talk at you later.